Hey guys, PIEGUYRULZ here, appearing for the very first time in the flesh in about 2 years, and I'm here to talk about why I am no longer going to be making SpongeBob videos on this channel, as well as basically what's happened to this channel in the past 2 years and what my plans are currently for it. So this is going to be a bit of a long story. It's going to be probably a different tone than you're used to from me, but I just kind of want to get it out there, really. If this can resonate with anyone else, then I guess it's worth it. But I also believe in transparency and honesty, and although I keep a lot of my personal life personal, I still think that what's going on with this channel is very relevant to you. So, first of all, thank you for clicking on this. So, about 2 years ago, something really bad happened to me. I had someone who was very close to me betray me in a very awful and nasty way, and that person was also helping me with some YouTube related stuff. So for a little while I kind of just didn't want to do anything with YouTube because I had a lot of negative emotions tied up in it just thanks to this other person. My intent wasn't to quit YouTube forever, but I was just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of had a little bit of a wake-up call in terms of I needed to get away from YouTube for a little while. So I did that, and, when I came back, basically what happened was I found that I had a really hard time actually creating videos. The truth is that I created the recast, along with Monsters Review, of course. We created the recast, but I wanted to do a podcast because I felt like I could no longer make videos anymore. I tried, and for some reason, every time I sat down to make a video, it just felt difficult. And I don't really know how to explain this other than to, I guess, just use a SpongeBob metaphor. The episode Pickles, where SpongeBob forgets how to make a Krabby Patty, even though it's something he knows how to do, front and back, and he's done it very easily all this time and everything. That's kind of how it was with me, in the sense that making videos is just something I'd done for 10 years. It's not something I ever really stopped and questioned, hey, am I able to make this video? Do I have the vision necessary to put together the pieces of audio commentary plus some sort of video aspect plus some good points and a point to the video? Can I put everything together and make the video? And is never something I questioned, but I don't know. For a while, basically, anytime I tried to sit down to put together a video, I just kind of got frustrated and gave up. I had so many ideas and so many things that I wanted to do, but every time I sat down and I had an idea, I'd start working on it a little bit, and I'd find that, maybe this idea had been done before by someone else, or maybe the idea wasn't as strong as I thought it was, or maybe it would take more work than I expected, and I just I let it build up, and basically the recast was kind of meant to be a way to keep my channel alive while I was frantically figuring out what the heck I was going to do and what I was going to do with my channel. And during the time that we made the recast, on basically every single episode, we would always get comments from people telling me that the recast is dumb. The recast is a bad idea. Go back to making SpongeBob videos. When's season 11 coming out? Why aren't you doing Bottom of the Bakery? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? We had tons of fans, tons of very supportive fans, and I'm not trying to downplay them, but literally every single video, maybe not literally, but nearly every single one of the first comments would always just be the obligatory, why aren't you making the content I want you to make? And it was hard to not kind of get bitter at that, because I understand that people subscribe because they want to see a certain kind of content, and I understand that I never officially ended the every episode of SpongeBob reviewed series or Bottom of the Bakery or anything like that, but it's just when you're struggling to put these things together and you're still trying to do it, the last thing you want is to constantly be hounded when you're trying to do the very thing. The recast was the thing that was trying to hold my interest with cartoons and was trying to keep me focused and keep my channel alive by just uploading stuff on a regular basis. And to see that just kind of get trashed, it really just kind of, I don't know, it made me bitter, and it made me, it just the difficulties I was having even more so. You know what I mean? Like, why do I want to make videos for people who are ungrateful? And of course, there are a ton of people who were super respectful, and I'm not saying that these videos didn't happen because of the handful of jerks out there that decided to harass me and just constantly be annoying. And people who politely ask aren't harassing me. I want to make that clear as well. But basically, the difficulties I had were made worse by that. And then, of course, you know, the recast started out as something that didn't take a lot of time on my end, but then as Monsters got busier, I had to take up more slack, and we had created the recast that was very highly edited, and I felt the need to kind of keep up with that. And so every week I was spending like 8 hours editing, and I'm like, wait a minute, like this doesn't make sense. The recast at first didn't really take much of my time, and the reason why I wasn't making videos then wasn't that I was busy making the recast. It was just literally that I just couldn't do it. Like, I felt like I couldn't do it, self-confidence was shot. My just like passion for cartoons wasn't dead, but it just like, I didn't feel strongly enough anything to make like a video about it. You know what I mean? I could casually talk about cartoons with Monsters and Shadow and Kuro and Leia and whoever else we had on the podcast that week. But just to like sit down and make a video about it, I don't know, it just wasn't there. I wasn't feeling it anymore. So anyway, at a certain point, for various reasons, we ended the podcast, and I kind of wanted to give it another shot. It had been like a year and a half. It had been a while since I had kind of like really made videos. I'd made a handful, a few here or there. Technically, SpongeBob Season 10 did come out during the recast, very early in the recast, but it did technically come out then. And another thing is that I had a lot of criticism and backlash to the Season 10 video. A lot of people didn't like the way I reviewed some episodes, or didn't like that I kind of brushed a lot of things off as, well, I've seen it before, therefore it's not good. And that really made me kind of think and question, like, am I the right person to be reviewing SpongeBob? And I guess this is the perfect time to get into the SpongeBob portion of this. It's just that, like, I haven't seen myself as a fan of SpongeBob in years. Like not since maybe I started reviewing season 5 or 6. And it's not strictly that, like, a lot of bad episodes killed my interest in the show. It's more just that, like, I had spent so much time recording audio, editing audio, making slides, and editing video, and just doing so much, and critically looking at these episodes, that I could no longer see SpongeBob as anything other than, well, this is something that I review, and this is something I have a critical eye for, and this is something that I have my criteria of what I think is good and what I think is bad, and that's what it is. Even going back to episodes that I loved, now, and basically since season 10, I really don't feel much for them. I'm not saying I dislike SpongeBob. I'm not saying that I think SpongeBob is a bad show. But what I am saying is that I got burned out on SpongeBob, and you can see it. I was never, people seem to think that I'm this SpongeBob expert, or that I've memorized every little detail of every episode or anything, and that's not true at all. I mean, I've seen every episode at least 3 times up to season 10, but the truth is that after I make those reviews and after I've seen those episodes 3 times, I don't watch them again unless they're for another video. But recently I went back and watched season 1, and although I can like appreciate at these episodes, and although I am like, wow, that's a good joke, or wow, like that's that's a really good episode, or this is not a great episode, I can't turn the whole critical thing off to actually enjoy watching SpongeBob. And for a long time it's kind of been like this, and I kind of forced myself through it because I thought, well, people really want to see the season 11 video. People really want to see me talk more about SpongeBob, and this is my entire channel, basically. I mean, I've always talked about other things, but the thing that's gotten me consistent views has always been SpongeBob, and the thing that anyone can, it's obvious, right? It's like that's what my channel is, even though I've tried not to make it be that. I've tried not to oversaturate SpongeBob on my channel. There was a time when I definitely leaned into it, and that was probably the most successful point in my YouTube career, which is kind of a bummer. But I don't know, just I tried. I really tried for the past few months. This entire year I've tried. The idea wasn't even to do season 11. I was going to try to review season 1 with a much more critical eye and a much more in-depth reviews. And I really wanted to do it. And I realized at a certain point that I didn't want to do it because I personally wanted to do it. I wanted to do it because it's what people wanted to see. It's all people wanted to see. And I realized that, like, forcing myself to do this, forcing myself to sit and watch episodes that I don't really want to be watching. Again, even if I can say, oh yeah, that's a good episode, like obviously it is, I still don't really want to be watching it. I've seen so much of SpongeBob in my life that I'm just kind of done with it. And you could attribute it to a lot of things, but it's not just because Hillenburg passed away. It's not just because of Camp Coral. It's not just because of a bunch of bad episodes. It's kind of like everything, really. It's everything, and the fact that I've just kind of been reviewing SpongeBob guy, that I burn myself out on it. SpongeBob's not a deep show. It's not a show that you get a ton of from rewatching. You either laugh at it or you don't, really. There are moments that evoke other emotions, sure, but you guys know that I've always kind of seen SpongeBob as a gag show, and so if I'm not laughing at the gags, even if I can say, wow, that's a good joke, I just don't want to be watching anymore. And I also feel like, me reviewing it without passion, just because it'll get me views, or just because it's what you guys want to see, it's not going to be good. You guys aren't going to want it, like could I theoretically force myself to do the video? Sure, but it's like, at what cost, So that's just kind of where things have been at for SpongeBob. And I think really when it clicked for me is when I made the most recent Butch Hartman video. I made that video in a day. Why? Because it was about a topic I was passionate about. Whereas when it came to SpongeBob, even just watching season 1 was like pulling teeth with me. It took me months to do it. And it's like, it shouldn't be like that, Back when I was doing the reviews, even in season 6, I could plow through the season in a few sittings. But, not so much anymore. And also it's, another big thing, and this doesn't really go for re-reviewing season 1, but when it comes to reviewing any other season, people get upset if I say that I don't like an episode because I've seen it before. I don't think SpongeBob should be reusing plots. And I understand that. That's not, I'm not saying this as it's one way to look at things, certainly. It's not the only way to look at things. And if you want to just ignore SpongeBob's history every single episode you watch, fine. Like, you can review it that way, certainly. But that's not the way that I reviewed it. That's not my criteria. And I firmly do believe that if a show is repeating itself over and over again, it's about time to throw in the towel. So I don't even think I could review a new season because I don't even know. I'm very well aware of this, and I try to, I don't want to be like too cynical, and I don't want to be fake optimistic. And I worry that sometimes with a season 10 review, maybe I did throw in too many kind of, oh, well, this episode's maybe borderline, but I'm going to give it a good moments. Maybe I did. I don't really know. But yeah, so when it comes to SpongeBob content, I'm done for now and probably forever. I know this is a statement that's just not gonna gain me any favors, but I don't want to be dishonest. That people have accused me of not announcing that I'm done with SpongeBob because it'll make me lose subscribers, or I don't know, because I'm afraid or something. But the truth is, the reason why I didn't announce it for so long, and same thing with Bottom of the Bakery, is that in my heart for a long time, I wanted to finish these projects. I mean, I still kind of want to, but like, I thought that it was a possibility, and if I come out and announce that these things are done and over with, people are going to leave, and then even if I do end up making it, it's like no one's even going to see it. So my thing was always, well, I promised my Twitter audience that I'd make these videos, but I never promised my YouTube audience. And so that's why on Twitter, I said, no, not reviewing season 11 of SpongeBob. But I never made this video until now because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And tweeting or even now saying in a video, just saying, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing and I don't know what my plan is. It's like, what's the point of making a video like that? I have a point with it now because I'm pretty certain I'm not going to go back to the SpongeBob well. Again, there's a chance, but I'm not saying that to give you guys hope. I'm just saying that if my interest is sparked again, sure, I'll go back. I'm not saying this as in I will literally never touch SpongeBob again, but I am saying for the very foreseeable future, I'm burned out on it, and I don't really want to go back personally. There's other people that talk about SpongeBob on this website, and there's a lot of people who love talking about the show, and let them talk about the show, My reviews aren't the only ones. My opinion's not the only one. Give some other people a shot, So, that's about where it is in terms of SpongeBob. But in terms of other things, after the recast ended, I figured, well, I kind of need a new direction for my channel. I want it to be kind of along the lines of cartoons, and I want it to be something I'm passionate about, but I don't strictly necessarily just want to be like making cartoon video after cartoon video. So that's kind of where I got the idea for streaming service reviews. And I did the Disney Plus review, and I was really proud of it. I put a lot of work into it. I was happy that I was able to finally finish a more complex project. But unfortunately, it just didn't do very well view-wise. I think it's sitting at about 10,000 views now when it's been months, and this was like a big thing I really pushed advertising-wise on it, and it didn't do so well. And it happens. It happens. It's the first video of a new kind on my channel, so of course it's not going to be big, but I don't know. It's just not necessarily a big, oh yeah, this is the direction I should definitely be going in. It was kind of just like a lukewarm thing, and in the meanwhile, something I didn't mention, I did kind of have some big successes in the past 2 years, some of the most viewed videos on my channel, in fact, but those were videos about Butch Hartman drama and about the possibility of Steven Hillenburg not knowing about Camp Coral and Nickelodeon going behind his back to, going behind his corpse to make this show. And, I don't want to be the drama channel. I'm not looking to be that channel. I am passionate about more serious issues, of course, and I think that's why I was able to make those videos more easily. But I'm not looking to just kind of milk that sort of thing. And, it also brings down a storm on you for if you're wrong. It's been called into question whether or not Hillenburg knew, because apparently one of the artists on Camp Coral said that, of course, Steve knew about Camp Coral, which personally I don't find to be concrete proof, but it definitely throws a wrench into my theories in that video. So it's I don't know, it's tough, and so yeah, I don't know, where does that leave me now, right? Well, I've been having a lot of fun on my Let's Play channel, Pie Guy Plays. Been playing through the Avatar game. Going to be playing through the rest of the Avatar games. Going to be playing through Steven Universe Attack the Light. Probably OKKO as well after that. I'm playing through Battle for Bikini Bottom, Rehydrated on stream over there. So, and that's been a blast. I'm kind of burned out on SpongeBob, but that game is a lot of fun. And again, I don't hate SpongeBob, so I do enjoy the references and joking around with you guys and talking about, old videos I've done. It's not, I don't hate the show. I don't feel, so burned out that I never want to, even reference it again. It's more just that I can't full videos on it. But anyway, I'm doing that over there. Shadow and I launched Stream Soda, which is just a weekly live stream where we just talk about streaming an original show every week, and we've been having a lot of fun with that. And where does that leave my edited video content? Honestly, it's still up in the air. I want to make an HBO Max review, and I've been working on it. So hopefully that'll come out, in a few weeks. No guarantees in terms of timetable on that, because I want to make sure, they're not making major changes to it while I'm still working on the script. But that's kind of like one thing that's pretty definitively in the works. But aside from that, I kind of want to just do different things with my channel. I'm not saying I'm not going to make cartoon videos anymore, because I probably will still from time to time. But my channel is going to go in a new direction. I'm a different person than I have been. A few months ago, I lost multiple family members, an entire section of my family to COVID-19. And that kind of set back some of my plans as well. I was going to talk a little bit more about some things related to Disney Plus, but that happened, and it just made me not want to do anything for weeks. But sorry, I'm just rambling here. But I want to be here. I want to make videos, and I want to have some relevance on YouTube, even if it's small. I've accepted that my channel's never going to be a big channel. I've accepted that I probably won't ever reach whatever heights that I had when I was reviewing SpongeBob, but I just kind of want to still create something, and this is where all my creative energy goes. I have a boring desk job in the daytime, so if you want to stay with me and you want to see what I'm going to do, what I'm going to try, where I'm going to go, that's great. If you don't, I completely understand. I just really ask that just don't bug me, don't harass me, don't try to force me to get the kind of content that you want out of me, because that pie guy's gone, So you can criticize me all you want, but just don't be a jerk, man. Like, don't harass me, and don't sit here if you're just gonna try to get me to make a certain form of content. The thing I always said with the recast was most of a lot of those comments weren't people that had listened to the cast and were criticizing it. No, they were just people who wanted to see a fully edited SpongeBob review and not a podcast, which is fine. But it's like, why do you have to hate on my podcast just because you want to see something else? The podcast was never in the way of making season 11 review. The podcast was basically the thing that kept me from just like leaving YouTube altogether, So that's about it. That's where I am, and I just hope everyone is safe and happy. And I'm sorry I got to be a bummer. I'm sorry that I can't be the content creator people want me to be, but I'm done looking back, and I'm done feeling guilty for not making the content. I will forever not be pleased with the fact that Bottom of the Bakery ends on a cliffhanger, and that I ended SpongeBob with season 10 instead of giving it maybe more of a grand finale. But it is what it is. I can't keep sitting here saying, oh yeah, maybe next month I'll get to these projects, because I probably never will. And I think having them hanging over my head is just not going to be good for the overall health of the channel. So, yeah, that's my piece. PIEGUYRULZ. Out.